You hear the word escrow tossed around a lot in real estate. People say, we're in escrow, or he opened escrow. None of that actually helps explain what escrow is. Hi, my name is Jason Allen-Rouman, and I'm a real estate agent in Palm Springs, California. In short, real estate escrow is the process of transferring ownership of property from one individual to another once a sale has been agreed to. And it is generally bookended at the start with a ratified purchase contract and at the end when the sales transaction is complete, typically when the new owner's name is put on file in the county recorder's office. Now, a ratified contract is a very specific thing, but you can learn about that in one of my other videos. Okay, back to escrow. Let's start with the understanding that a ratified contract commits the buyer and the seller to a series of defined steps in the purchase-sales process, along with a timeline to do these steps. Some of these steps cost money or time, which is why the parties only agree to perform these steps once they know the other side is committed by the terms of the contract, and that there are consequences if the other side doesn't perform accordingly. Now, these are steps like the seller making repairs to the property, or the buyer depositing money into the escrow account. The contract spells out all of this stuff and lays out the timetable for getting them done. Escrow is that process and the time period. There's something more, and this is one of the reasons why real estate transactions are so unique for most people and why the concept of escrow is so important. The buyer and the seller need a neutral and trustworthy third party to hold the earnest money and down payment while the terms of the contract are being fulfilled. In other words, the buyer needs to put up money before he or she actually gets the property title put into his or her name. Somebody has to hold on to that money so the seller knows it's there along the way, and the buyer knows the seller can't just take it. On the other end of the transaction, once the buyer and the buyer's lender have given all the money to the seller, they need to know that the seller will transfer the title of the property to the buyer. This person holding the money is the escrow officer. Plus, if either the buyer or the seller doesn't do what the contract says, then you have a dispute, and the escrow officer waits for the argument to be settled before releasing the money. Originally, the term escrow just referred to this special holding account into which the money from the transaction flowed. But in everyday usage, the word escrow has generally evolved to include the special account, the map or accounting, and the period during which the fulfillment of the contract conditions takes place. In that way, when someone says, we're in escrow, or he opened escrow, or we have a 30-day escrow period, they're all talking about the same thing, escrow. Does that make sense? All right, let me use a different example. It's like saying you're engaged, which invokes that moment the proposal occurred and somebody said yes, but really involves everything you have to do between that beautiful moment on a beach somewhere at sunset and the marriage license gets recorded at City Hall. You could say engaged or engagement period or I'm engaged to be married, but it's all basically the same thing. And while you can be engaged for years, just know that a typical escrow period in non-competitive situations is between 30 and 45 days. Now I say that, but if you're a buyer, you really want to talk strategy with your agent when developing your offer. Sometimes it's a great idea to shorten the escrow period, if you can, or offer to lengthen it. The California Bureau of Real Estate has produced a really good PDF that explains a lot of the escrow process in simple terms. Now, I've included a link to it in this video's description. If you're going to read it, and I recommend you do, start well before you find yourself listing your house for sale or, if you're a buyer, making your first purchase offer. There's a lot of information to digest, and once that contract is ratified, you'll be developing tunnel vision around signing papers, packing boxes, and scheduling movers. I've seen it happen. And all of that is a good reason to have an excellent real estate agent on your side of the deal, watching out for what needs to be done. Oh, and one more thing. In other parts of the country, they call escrow settlement, but it's really the same thing. If you have any questions about California real estate, please reach out to me and I'll do my best to help. If I can't, I'll try to refer you to someone that can. As always, if you have a topic for discussion that I should cover in a video, Let me know in the comments section below. And if you found this video useful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel to hear about our latest videos. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.